Hello, this is your host Prills doing a new Let's Play of a new DROD game, more like a remake DROD game, called King Dugan's Dungeon Lite, which is a Flash remake of the original King Dugan's Dungeon, which was my original Let's Play ever. Looking back, I was very shaky, very nervous, I guess I really haven't improved that much. A very bad Let's Player, not that I've gotten much better, but I'm a very big DROD enthusiast. I love this puzzle series, and I wanted to share with you what a member of the Caravel team has brought to us, which is a Flash version of the original King Dugan's Dungeon. His name is Skell, or Skellus, depending on where you know him from, and he's a very talented individual, and I figured I would do him a little bit of a special by showing his game to you. Now you may be asking yourself, oh, King Dugan's Dungeon, why should I even bother with Flash DROD, as I'm going to call it from now on, as opposed to the original? Well, in my opinion, Flash DROD is a heck of a lot more polished than the original King Dugan's Dungeon. The aesthetics are prettier, the rooms feel more polished, the puzzles less frustrating in some instances, the tutorials more obvious so that players don't get as frustrated, and other things like achievements and the high scores are easier to understand, like everyone can use them. There's some backstory, I guess, but we all know about that. And in general, the rooms are smaller because it's a Flash engine, and Flash isn't a very efficient language. Oops. As you can see, the room just looks smaller. There's less squares, I guess, if you will, in a given room. So, as opposed to the original and the current version of the DROD engine, everything just feels a little more squished, and you think, well, how is this a good thing? Well, I think it actually improves things quite a bit in some instances where they've been very creative with the puzzles. Not only that, there's more secret rooms, mastery areas, and in general, it's divided up into like packs. So this is like the first King Dugan's Dungeon Lite 1, so they'll be coming in 4 floors at a time. This will be the first 4 floors of the light version of King Dugan's Dungeon, even though it has quite a bit to offer. And even this opening room has a little bit more aesthetics. There appears to be some sort of cave in here and a way to display that we can move in diagonals. In general, I think the scrolls are helpful, like more helpful than they were in the original KDD. But I will be, even though most of you, if you've been following me, probably know quite a bit about DROD, I might as well talk about some of the general principles of how they work. If you're wondering where you can play this game, I'm currently playing it on Newgrounds. So that's probably a good place to play it. And I think it's really polished. I'm very proud of what Skell has done, even though I contributed next to nothing to help him. It's an amazing accomplishment in my opinion. So if you want to know what orbs do, you can click on them. If it's blue, it means it opens a gate. If it's red, it means it specifically closes a gate. And if it's orange, it means it toggles a gate. Every single move I do, whether it be in any of the cardinal directions, done with my number pad, count as a single turn. Every time I turn my sword 45 degrees, it counts as a turn. And this game is strictly turn-based.
Ah, the first roach of the dungeon. What to be throw, roach burger to be?
In every instance, no matter what, the roach will try to take as many diagonals it can to get on the same lateral I guess plane as you, and then when you take your turn, if your sword is in the same space as the roach will die. I'm going to skip over the scrolls because I'm probably just as good as an explainer, maybe. It just has to, you don't have to like stab it a specific way, you just have to get your sword to hit the roach. If you leave the room before everything dies, the roach is reset as such. Sometimes where you enter the room makes a big difference.
Clear.
Like that. When a room is clear down here on the mini-map, it'll turn from red to white, and that means the room is sufficient. And to complete a level, you just have to, as you can see, this one's red right now. To complete a level, you just have to clear all of the rooms out. In every instance, B-throw is considered to go first, so if you were to move in a position where it might seem like a roach would have the turn to kill you, oops, keep forgetting how I get my achievement things up. I'm accidentally mashing the tab button. You are always considered to move first, then the roaches move in their programmed fashion. And this tells you that when a roach hits a corner, because this is a turn-based game, a puzzle game, not a reflex-based game, the roach will prefer, in every instance, to move diagonally towards you, even if the horizontal might be closer. Oops. You can also backspace your turns. I think in King Dugan's Dungeon Lite or Flash DROD, you can backspace up to 3 times, which is kind of a luxury that I'm not used to. In the original, you can only do it once, and even in the current releases, you can only do it once. So that's kind of new. I'll have to consider that. There's instances like here that you might want to think about how positioning works. The sword is seemingly unintuitively, it seems like I should die on this turn, the roach will continue to follow me, but if I backstep like that, the roach will die, because I get the first turn. The red X's are check marks, which I can restore to them by pressing the R button. So if I step on 2, I will step restore and then restore again, so it kind of works in like a pattern on which one you touch before. Ooh, I got an achievement. What is it for? I don't know. Probably for killing a bunch of roaches. Oh, whoops. If the roaches get the opportunity to kill you like they did right there, they will take it if you haven't killed them on that turn. Oops. There we go. The sword, the roaches will not involuntarily walk into this, so you can often use your sword as a barrier when trying to corral roaches. If I recall correctly, there should be an achievement for this one where I managed to kill all the roaches without ducking into this little room down here. So I'm going to give that a shot now. And I seem to have done it. Oops, so if I see True Smite Master, and I really looked hard enough I could see that, oh, don't hide in the clove in 6 north 2 west on the first level, and I would get a nice achievement. And a little piece of paper that says, oh, this is what you should have done to get that achievement. But now this opens, this is new, this is not in the original game. You can break some secret walls to find secrets, and that's interesting, it doesn't list this as a secret room. I guess it's not a secret room. Huh, it's required. But that is okay, because... Now notice here, I'm forced to hit this orb from this direction, so my sword's facing west now, and I can't turn it around fast enough without the roach getting to me in time, so I'm going to undo that turn and run from the roach across this force arrow. I'm actually going to, it says, place yourself on the green floor and make sure that the roach stands on the sand tile directly north of you. So now that the roach is in a position where it's now a space away from my sword, I can do the backspace I showed you earlier. I'm really glad that King Dugan's Dungeon showed, or this version of the game showed how to do that, because it frustrates a lot of players, the idea of the backswing, as we call it, where we kind of step back into, ooh, hello, this is new-ish, step back into roaches. It's not exactly an intuitive move, and I'm glad they forced you to learn that one, because it's such a valuable technique. Now, if you've managed to clear out all the rooms, a blue door, which is the door that drops when all the other doors drop, will not drop until you leave the room, as you can see here. Leaving the room is considered clearing it, not actually clearing out all the monsters. Now, green doors will behave differently. You don't have to leave the room for them to drop, but blue doors you most definitely do. And this is an interesting way out of here. Okay. This is not in the original. It's the emergency exit, apparently. This is not in the original King Dugan's Dungeon, so... Reading what they say. Sorry. Oh, this is goblin language. Sorry, are we not going to finish the building with the ground roaches running wild? Goblins have a funny language in this game. They're also an enemy you will encounter later, / sometimes friend, but very, very, very rarely. More like friend by coercion, because you have to force them to do things. They're one of the few monsters that will run from your sword. I'm sorry, I keep mashing that tab button. Greenhouse doors closed. Okay, nope, I need to go through here. So this is kind of an interesting back way to get towards the entrance. Normally we would have to walk all the way around in the original game. And if I see... Nope, I don't know how I'm going to get over there. I see a breakable wall here. I'm not sure how to get to it. This would be the original... In the original game, you'd come back all the way to here. That was a lot of walking backwards. But now we've got this nice little scenic back area in the King Dugan's Dungeon Light. That is very nice. And some breakable walls that will lead to, looks like, a secret area up in the corner. Aha, this is a true secret room. It says secret found, and that's indicating. And secret rooms on the map will appear as purple. They're not required to drop any of the blue doors. The only thing they're required to drop is eventually you will see a door called a master door. It looks like a piece of construction. Like a construction door. I don't know how to describe it, but they often contain a bonus area of the game that contains some bonus material and rooms and other goodies. But I'm about to run out of time, so I'm going to end my video here. And I will see you all next time as we continue diving through King Dugan's Dungeon Light, Episode 1. I will see you all next time. This has been your host, Pearls. Bye-bye.